Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Lieutenant General Darrell Williams, United States Military Academy Superintendent, Brigadier General Curtis Buzzard, the Commandant of Cadets, and Colonel Nicholas Gist, Director of Department of Physical Education, I want to welcome you, Ring City, USA, and NBC Sports, to the United States Military Academy. I am Cadet Devin Greenfield, and I will be your announcer for the cadet bouts this evening. Tonight's bouts will be conducted by the collegiate rules, bouts consisting of 3 rounds, each 2 minutes in duration, and scored utilizing the 20-point must system. Boxers will be wearing 16 or 20-ounce gloves, a mouthpiece, USA Boxing Approved headgear, and other protective gear as needed. The judges for tonight's bouts are Mr. Artie Coughlin, Miss Sue Kligerman, Major Eric Ruff, Mr. Osahan Oma Osagi, and Mr. Jerry Hart. The official timekeepers are Cadet Calvin Hart and Cadet Christina Hughes. The referee for tonight's bouts is Dr. Ray Barone, Lieutenant Colonel retired. All of the officials tonight are from the Department of Physical Education. Our medical staff for this evening's bouts consists of the ringside physician, Dr. Neil McMullen, and the team athletic trainers, Miss Ashley Hugavine and Miss Paige McHenry. Please join me in acknowledging our special guest this evening, Lieutenant General Darrell Williams, United States Military Academy Superintendent, and Colonel Nicholas Gist, Director of Department of Physical Education. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of our national anthem by one of our very own boxers, Cadet Christina Hughes.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! The first bout of the evening will be weighing no more than 130 pounds. Boxing out of the red corner from Chelsea, Maine, Emma Begin.
As we mentioned, all of the cadets that walk through the halls of the U.S. Military Academy here at West Point are required to take boxing as part of their curriculum. We see the red corner walking into the ring tonight here at Hayes Hall. They are all very familiar with this particular building, built around the turn of the century. This is where they do their obstacle course training, which they are also required to pass. And this is their first time inside of the ring here this evening. their first time on global television. This is our first bout of the evening.
And her opponent, in the blue corner, boxing out of Traverse City, Michigan, Grace Martin.
As we look there at Grace Martin, again, this will be our first bout of the evening here at Haynes Hall. The cadets will be going at it on our Twitch broadcast. Coming up later on, we do have the WBA Featherweight World Championship on our main broadcast. And as we mentioned before, all of the cadets are required to go through boxing training. For a big background on some of the training these cadets actually go through, let's go to Karan Bhatia.
Go, ladies. Get that jab going.
We're going to get the boxing here. We'll be going back to that feature a little bit later on to show you exactly what all the cadets go through
Perry.
as part of their training here at West Point Military
Use the jab
Academy.
to come in, Em. Stop! Hold the clock. Uh-oh. Take a look. Box!
There you go, Grace. Jab, hand up. Hands up.
Get those hands up. Don't slap. Watch the slapping. Emma, use the jab more. Come in behind it. Breathe in, ladies. Stay loose. Stay loose. Chin down when I throw that.
Okay.
Stay on it, Emma. Stay
Cool.
close.
Now, Sean, these are going to be
Cut the
4
ring.
2-minute rounds. What is the difference in strategy compared to the pro ranks? Obviously, they got to get started a little bit faster. How do they catch the judge's attention?
jab
Is it
out.
just volume that they're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing three 2-minute rounds, and I think it's volume, but you know, just like a professional
something
fight,
like
you
that.
want to be precise. You want to be
Grace,
able to
sit
hit your
down.
guy
1
and not
minute,
get hit.
boxer.
You know, so I think that
down, Grace.
these cadets here, you know, they are showing that they
Hands come
want
back
to be
high,
in there
Em.
and they want to fight, which I think
Don't let her in
essentially
it.
is the learning,
Snap, snap.
the lesson that they're supposed to learn from being a part of the boxing program.
You know, as I mentioned,
Jab,
part of the
jab.
program's main purpose is not necessarily to produce, you know, worldwide boxing talent or Golden Glove champions. They want to produce the leaders of tomorrow. They want to test them. They want to put them in uncomfortable positions early on in their military career, and what better way to do that? And let's bring in our second world champion joining us here at the table. Speaking of extensive military experience,
Breathe.
U.S. Marine
Breathe,
veteran
Em. Breathe.
and the reigning
Stay
WBO
out of
junior
range.
lightweight
Stay
world
out of range.
champion,
Get ready to
Semper
go.
Fi, Jamel Herring. Thanks for
Catch your
joining
breath.
us.
Hey, thank
Go.
you for having me. Thank you for that lovely introduction as well, Lupe.
Now, Jamel, you of all people are most qualified to speak about this. We talked about how when you are part of the military, they don't want you to see stressful situations. They don't want you to be in uncomfortable positions prior to going out into the battlefield. How did boxing prepare you to experience some of that live, real live action in the military field?
For me, you know, boxing and the Marine Corps, well, my Marine Corps experience worked hand in hand. Like you mentioned earlier, it was all about how you work under pressure. As you can see from watching this first bout, I seen Martin, you know, applying a lot of pressure. But you know, for the most part, Begin has been doing a great job. But you know, I think for the most part, my military experience also helped me prepare for those wars that I have had in the ring in my professional career. And every time that like if I have like a rough situation in a bout or whatever, I always think about my experience from where I came from and to where I'm at now, and I always say, you know what, I've been through worse, so there's nothing else, there's nothing in front of me that can really hold me back.
Jamel, when you were in the Marines and you first got going with this program, did you have any boxing experience prior to joining the Marines? And any of the cadets that you were with?
Yes. I had actually I had a couple of years of boxing experience, and Sean, which is funny, we have a common opponent, and my first loss as an amateur came to Danny Jacobs.
Oh wow!
And back in New York, that was my first amateur loss. But for the most part, my the bulk of my amateur experience came under, you know, programs such as this one with the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And that's why I always, you know, love to see our military continue to, you know, support the boxing, especially on the USA boxing. Hopefully we can see maybe some of these cadets go out there and become Olympians as well.
And you know what? The good part about this is seeing these cadets work. I see more than just 2 women that have basically had to get in the ring and box. Like, these women are using some technique. They're trying to use the ring, and they're not just going in there swinging. The first round was more of a swinging match, but I think it was just nerves and things like that. But they both have seemed to have calmed down, and now they're trying to actually work and do some things that a real professional boxer or amateur boxer would do.
Exactly, and I love what I'm seeing from Martin. Like, she's using the ring, she's using lateral movement. She's using her range. I mean, right now, she's getting in and out. She's not trying to cause more of a firefight. She's trying to, like you pointed out, she's trying to use technique and score points and get out of there.
In the first round, she came out guns a-blazing. A little bit more measured approach in this round 2, and we also see some success from Emma Beggin. Now, Sean, I'm not going to use the S word, but she's the more compact fighter, such as you. She seems to be using those disadvantages or is aware of those disadvantages. And working with those.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say about Beggin is she's fighting, and both women seemed to have calmed down after the first round, and I think that ultimately that's what they want these cadets to be able to do is under fire, under pressure, remain calm and do what you've been taught. And so we saw the first round, both of the women were really excited, but you see now in that second round, both women have calmed down and they can see now where their openings are, and they're using the ring a little more and all of that, which I really appreciate right now.
It is a very big platform for them. Obviously, they've been in the ring before. They've done the training, but the first time you are in front of a live crowd, you've got all the cadets lining the mezzanine level here at Hayes Gymnasium. So there's obviously pressure. You want to impress. You come out, and perhaps there is that danger, Jamel, of leaving a little bit too much out there in the first round and not having anything left for the backstretch of the fight.
I mean, it's definitely a lot different when you're performing under those bright lights, especially like this being, spread across the nation, worldwide, as a matter of fact. So, but for the most part, they've been very composed. I like what I'm seeing. Like I said, they calmed it down a lot from the first round, and they're listening to their corners and coming out with more of a game plan instead of just going out there and going head to head, slugging it out.
All right, well, let's cut to the chase. Who's gonna win? That's what I want to know.
Right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Martin. Like she's sticking and moving. She's sticking and moving. She's using the basic fundamentals with a strong jab, and she's getting out of harm's way. She's getting her shots off, and she's getting out of there.
Yeah.
The fighter with obviously the physical advantages, the taller, rangier fighter of the two is Martin. The same was said in your last bout, Jamel. You were the more physically gifted of the two fighters. What do you have to do when you're in there to remember that, to make sure you don't neglect those advantages that you have inside the ring?
You definitely have to believe in everything that you work towards during training camp. That's where it starts at. It all starts in the gym. So and you have to trust your corner. And especially like with a fighter like Begin, she's bringing that pressure. She's not giving up, and she's working really hard. She's trying. So you got to stay cool in there and just continue doing what works in there.
And both women are in good conditioning today. I don't know what the punch count is. I wish we knew, because they have definitely surpassed what I thought they would do.
And they're still going.
Still going.
Still going strong.
Begging has been more than willing to go in there and take those shots to get a few of her own into the body.
Work it. Watch the bump.
Yeah, and one thing I want to see from Begin, if she goes down to that, if she would have went down to that body, to slow down those legs. Because Martin is definitely using those legs and moving it, using that whole ring, which seems like a big ring tonight.
More than one. Push. Get that corner. Working.
A flurry of punches from Grace Martin down the stretch.
And now
she appears to be wanting to put the exclamation point on these 3 rounds.
Got the crowd into it now.
Leaving in the judges' minds that she was the victor in this bout.
Nice.
Great job between both of them. Great job.
And also joining us here on the broadcast, we have legendary referee and our official ringside scorer. Steve, how did you have that bout?
I had Miss Martin, Lady in Blue, winning this bout. It was close. It could have been 3-0 or 2-1.
I think we're all pretty much in agreement. We saw the blue corner, Grace Martin, take our opening bout here at the United States Military Academy at West Point. We are inside of Hayes Gymnasium. And I believe we are ready for our first decision of the evening. We send it up to our ring announcer.
New ring announcer.
Let's hope it's not that good.
Your winner, boxing, out of the blue corner, Grace Martin.
Good job.
Once again, Steve Smoger is right on the money. Grace Martin.
Great job, great job.
Taking the victory in our first bout of the evening here inside of Hayes Gymnasium. As we mentioned before, ladies and gentlemen, if you're part of the curriculum or part of the military program here at the United States Military Academy at West Point, it's the original School of Hard Knocks. You have to take boxing as part of your curriculum. For a look at that, let's go with Karan Bhatia.
The history of boxing at West Point goes back to really the beginning of the 20th century, around 1905, when President Teddy Roosevelt, who was a big boxing, submission grappling fan, he made a recommendation that boxing be part of the physical education program at West Point.
Every cadet that comes through here has to go through the boxing program. Why do you think that's important, that everyone goes through that program?
Well, boxing really develops and builds a warrior ethos.
My hands, my palms are facing each other, and my hands are relaxed in the glove. Folks, you are now in the on-guard stance. Chins down. Looking good.
You can be all talk and talk about like, oh, like in a stressful situation, like I'll do the right thing, like I won't freeze up. But the ring is a test of that. Like when you get in the ring, you can't fake it anymore. You have to stand up and stand your ground and throw punches.
We're not going to make these young men and women Golden Glove boxers. The idea is to put them in a perceived fearful situation, because one day when they're leading America's sons and daughters possibly into uncertainty and maybe someone starts shooting, they'll be able to maintain their composure and lead their soldiers as they should.
You talk about moving as your security in a tactical situation, it's the same situation here. Provides you opportunities to score and makes it very difficult for your opponent to score upon you. All right?
In the Army, we deal with a lot of adverse circumstances, and you kind of have to face it head on. Not everybody's a great boxer, but you know, if you just get in the ring and you show that grit and that resilience, you can pass the class and you can learn a lot about yourself, and you might even like it.
At first I was like, we all have to do boxing, are you sure? But one of the biggest things and tools that people use to bond are shared experiences. So you could have graduated 40 years ago and I graduate now. We both went through plebe boxing. We know the pains of being punched in the face. It brings a unique perspective to our tradition here at West Point. And it's not going anywhere. It's going to be here for a long time to come, so it extends that long gray line into the future.
You know, in my many stints in college, I dropped many a class. I'm thinking that would have been another incomplete.
I don't know, Lupe. You're a tough guy.
Another incomplete on my resume there. We're getting ready for the second fight of the evening. We have Shane Ferry along with Lawrence Shepard. And for the intros, we go to our ring announcer, Devin Greenfield.
And ladies and gentlemen, for your next bout, boxing, out of the red corner, out of Panama City, Florida, Shane Ferry. And his opponent, boxing, out of Detroit, Michigan, from the blue corner, Lawrence Shepard.
Shane Ferry, Lawrence Shepard in our second bout of the evening.
We haven't had a crowd in a while. I forgot what that sounded like.
It feels great, doesn't it, to hear the reaction?
Yeah. Hey, Lupe, how do you grade our new ring announcer over there? Because he seems like he's really into it.
He's a little bit too good for my liking. My job security is slowly slipping away, but, you know, he's doing a very, very nice job.
In and out, use your reach.
I'm pretty sure I sparred with both these guys yesterday. This guy in the red, he's going to be switching this entire match. He switched again to southpaw, so I don't know if it's strategy or he's just going to go with whatever foot's out front, but it worked yesterday when I sparred against him.
Straight in, you're getting caught.
Hey, one thing I've seen is that Shepard is from Detroit, Michigan, which is the Motor City, and we all know, they have a great background in boxing, so I'm expecting a lot from him. But so far, I see he has a very strong, stiff jab.
Fire and maneuver. Come on.
He's also very well accomplished. He says his greatest achievement was being the 152-pound Golden Gloves champion in the open division. And in open division, it's no joke. You're fighting grown men at that stage.
1 minute, boxers. 1 minute.
You know, Sean, I got a chance to see some of the footage of you sparring these guys. What a thrill for them, and I really enjoyed the way you worked with them. You made a great point of saying everybody wasn't there to try to take your head off. They knew how to work in the middle.
Yeah, they knew how to work in the middle, and Shane Ferry is doing exactly what he did to me yesterday. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's got some really good stamina, and he's trying to find openings. You see a little pivot move he did a little pivot move again. Like he did that to me yesterday. I was like, what? Where'd this come from? You're not supposed to know this yet.
he got caught there with a nice counter left hand from Shepard. Speaking of the pivot move, he mentioned also that his favorite fighter is Vasily Lomachenko, so I think he's been watching a lot of YouTube videos. That's where the pivot comes from.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like Ferry's attitude, but he's coming in there with his head in the air a bit, and he's getting hit with those clean counters.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's a no-no in boxing. You're not supposed to come straight forward at a guy. You know, he tried the pivot moves, which are good, but you know that takes some time of working and practice and practice and practice. So I do think that he should come in on more of an angle, like you said, right, Jamel. But I like the way he worked this first round.
Counters.
You see, he took a couple of big left hands in this first round. Another one right there from Shepard. I think Shepard was a little bit more precise than Ferry in the first round.
Yeah, Ferry was definitely the aggressor, but Shepard was definitely more he had the cleaner shots, and he just seemed like he was just more accurate with everything in there.
Is there a danger in that, Sean, when you have a favorite fighter like Vasily Lomachenko, and you try to do things that are super advanced?
Mm-hmm. I told the guys yesterday to just keep working on the fundamentals and the basics. I told them even though I've been boxing as long as I have, I still focus on that. And it is possible to miss steps trying to do what you see other guys do.
Exactly.
It can get you into trouble.
Countering off you.
I couldn't agree more. So now it seems like Ferry has calmed it down a bit, and he's more composed this time around.
Yeah.
Hands are up, boxers.
I think that Ferry is faster than Shepard, and I think that he can beat him to the punch, and it's just a matter of what he does after he punches. And right now his escape moves have been pretty good.
To get a view as to how our ringside score, Steve Smoger saw that first bout. Steve, how do you have a round one score?
I believe Mr. Shepard won the first round, but this is a very competitive bout. I'm very pleased with the level of experience of fellas on this at the academy. It's very, very interesting.
As Sean mentioned, we're getting more movement, more volume from Ferry. But when it comes to the big shot and the better time punches, they seem to be coming from Shepard, correct?
So far in this round, Ferry, I think he's picking up a lot, and he looks a lot better than the first. I think he's actually pulling away in this round, in my opinion.
That jab out, Shepard.
Shepard seems like he kind of slowed down a bit.
Yeah, he's grimacing a little bit after the punches, and even when he goes to punch. So he looks a little uncomfortable, but you know, it's a part of the game.
It's the body shots. See, it's the body shots. That body shot got him moving on his back foot now.
And Ferry's not going to stop. We only did one round, and I know that if we had done more, he would have came just like this against me every round. He's not going to slow down.
Got 10 seconds.
Ferry with a very steady pace, working the body. Really looking to put a stamp here in the final seconds of round number 2.
Very good round.
A far better round from Ferry. I believe he won that round that time.
Yeah, I thought it was a good round for both guys. I thought that both guys kind of, it's like they cleaned up some things in that second round. And, you know, hey, we were talking about the guys. Maybe they're coaching. Maybe it could be the coaching that's helping them clean things up. Coach Barone is actually in the ring, acting as the referee, which is pretty cool. And he's coming over to get some tips right now. And it's pretty cool to see Coach Barone in there moving around. Tell you how far back I go with Barone. He took my brother to an international duel in England in 2004. Wow. And I met him shortly after, you know, so that's my favorite part of boxing is the relationships that you create and you make through this whole process of being an amateur and now a professional. And the same thing goes for these cadets. These cadets are going to know each other forever. And, you know, it's a camaraderie that comes from being in the armed forces. That same camaraderie comes from being in boxing. A lot of parallels between boxing and the armed forces.
Yes, sir.
A lot of the cadets mentioned that in their interviews. They're saying anytime they feel down, they need someone to lean on, they go right to their teammates, first of all.
That's amazing.
And that's a true statement because I still speak to the men and women that I served with in the past, so that's definitely a true statement. And it's been a while since I laced a pair of boots up, but I speak to people that I served with back in Iraq all the time.
It seems that both fighters know that the fight is pretty much on the line here in this final round.
I was going to say, let's take a look at the adjustment. You got Ferry who's still coming forward, doing what he feels was working, and now Lawrence is trying to move, use the ring, and create some openings with his movement. And I think Ferry is going to end up forcing Lawrence into his fight.
We couldn't quite hear what Coach Barone said to him in the corner, but it certainly seemed to motivate him here in this final round. Let's go to Kern Bhatia.
Both fighters are actually trained by other cadets. In the red corner for Shane Ferry is trained by Manny Ahua, who says Shane Ferry does fight both ways, but they prefer southpaw and they're asking for more head movement. In the blue corner, Coach Isaiah Queen is asking for increased volume and sharper punches for Lawrence Shepard. Back to you guys.
Increased volume and sharper punches. I told you guys, I said maybe the coaching in the corner is what's helping these guys. And sure enough, I like the information that came from both corners.
That's leadership. That's what leadership's about.
Solid advice coming from both corners here.
Nice pivot.
We're in the third round.
Come on, deep. Come on.
Again, a nice pivot.
I tell you, I'm going to be honest. That pivot would not work on me, but I love it. I love seeing that pivot.
That's because you have a thing called experience.
Yeah. I'm looking at it like that wouldn't work on me, but it's a good move for him. Good fight. Good match.
Great fight.
Good match.
A nice flurry of punches there to end the third round for both fighters. Fight number 2 here at U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Ferry Shepard. A very evenly matched bout. As we await the decision, it looks like that third round is going to be the definite round, the round that lets us know exactly who won this particular bout.
Most definitely.
Jamel, who you got?
I don't know. It was rough. I had it 1-1 going into the third round. But I think Ferry pulled it out.
I put 20 push-ups on. Oh, yeah. You going with Ferry? I'm going with Ferry. Never mind.
For the official decision, we go to ring announcer Devin Greenfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for your boxers. And now, for your winner, by split decision, boxing, out of the red corner, Shane Ferry.
You gentlemen are 2 for 2 tonight.
I knew it was a close one, though. I knew it was a close one, but I just thought that Ferry, he wanted it more. He pulled it out, and he got the victory.
And we got to commend both guys. Both guys look very good. And again, considering the level that they're at right now, I'm very proud to see that these guys are working and coming to the ring with that type of mentality to work everything that they've been learning to this point. It's pretty cool to see.
But if you had one piece of advice, a note for Ferry is lose the pivot, right?
Lose the pivot. It's not time. It's not pivot time yet.
For a look at the success of West Point boxing, we go to a feature with our referee and the architect behind the West Point boxing program, Coach Ray Barone.
First, tell me, how did you join the boxing team here?
I remember that when I showed up for Beast, everyone would go around and ask, what sports team are you going to try out for? And everyone would be like, lacrosse, basketball, and then I'd say boxing, and the room would go quiet. They'd be like, you're trying out for the boxing team? Like, do you know how hard that is? And I remember each time we came back for tryouts, there were less and less people. People just quit, but the ones who stayed, they're champions now.
Prior to COVID, we were going on our 11th national championship in a row. We've had plenty more prior to that. We had history winning. We're here to win, and that's what we do.
This boxing program has had a lot of success. Was that intimidating for you?
Of course. And the captains here, the older cadets, as you're coming in, are sure to show you, like, this is a tradition that we look to upkeep. And it's one of the hardest teams to make here at West Point for that same reason.
You can see the growth in them from freshman year boxer to senior boxer, how they've grown. And you know, the key to winning is that you've got to be physically tough, but you got to win here. And our boxers, they don't believe they can lose.
What do you think it is about boxing that you've learned that will benefit you in the future?
It teaches you your natural capabilities to adjust, your natural capabilities to try something different if what you're doing at first is not working. Our jobs here is to protect the United States of America. That's our passion. So in that sense, boxing is helping us formulate those skills that we need to use in that instance.
Prepare for our third bout of the evening. We get a look at just exactly the amount of success that the Army Knights have had on the collegiate level in boxing. Founded in 1802, they're the oldest continuously occupied military post in America. Some of the notable names, obviously President Theodore Roosevelt decided that he wanted boxing to be part of the curriculum circa 1905, wanted to teach the cadets discipline, leadership, and courage under fire. And as we mentioned, total national championship boxing, 10 for the men, 2 for the women. And to showcase more of that talent, we go to bout number 3. We have Evan Walker out of Raleigh, Texas, facing off against Sky Williams out of Atlanta, Georgia. And for the introductions, we go to our ring announcer, Devin Greenfield.
Ready for our next bout. Out of Raleigh, Texas, from the red corner, Evan Walker. Her opponent, from Snellville, Georgia, Sky Williams.
Evan Walker in the red corner. She is an academic major in operations research, looking to be stationed in the Oxford, United Kingdom. She's facing off against Sky Williams out of Atlanta, Georgia. She is a major in law and legal studies with an emphasis in terrorism studies.
Angles.
One thing I always try to catch during the ring introductions is the energy and the attitude coming from the fighters. And Sky seemed like she was a bit more ready for this. But I mean, much respect to Evan. When she came out, she walked directly to her.
Lead hand is high.
And we welcome in our third member of the team here on this Twitch broadcast, Mr. Brian Campbell. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Lupe. It's great to be here. And obviously for our Twitch viewers at home, we want you, have your say in the comment section. You got questions for the champ, Jamel Herring. You got something to say. Van Harry jumping in saying he loves how unique the venues here at Ring City are. Lupe, we've been to Puerto Rico. We've been to Freddie Roach's parking lot gym. This, though, wow, history in the making.
History is the apropos word here for this evening. As we mentioned, long storied tradition of boxing here at the United States Military Academy at West Point. We have these two women going at it. 3 2-minute rounds. This is round 1. We have in the blue corner Sky Williams facing off against Evan Walker. Jamel, what do you see from both these fighters up to this point?
For the most part, I see technique. I see a lot of technique being imposed there. They're taking their time. They're looking for they're looking to place their shots well, and they just seem like they're calm and not under the pressure of the bright lights. But I believe that the Sky just has a little bit more of aggression, but it's a close round. It's a close round, and every time Sky leads off the attack, Evan comes back with a counter and finishes last.
Yeah, for an intra-squad scrimmage as we're having here, these two have that poise, that savviness, that patience that you mentioned. Some good counter shots from both.
Right.
You know, Sky Walker had Sky Williams had a very interesting analogy when she talked about boxing. She said you can either be the thermostat or you can be the thermometer. She said the thermometer reacts to the atmosphere, the thermostat can change things, and that's her philosophy towards boxing. For a closer look at our participants in this bout, here's a closer look at Evan Walker.
Just like I'm a captain on the boxing team, I'm a leader within the regiment, within the Corps of Cadets. And so that mental toughness that we get from boxing and like knowing you can always go farther than you think you can, our bodies last way longer than our minds do a lot of times. I think that helps me. I'm like, okay, just got to get to this next hill. Just got to get through this next mission. Just like in the ring, I just got to get through this next round. That translates well into becoming of an officer. Because it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and we're fighting for more than ourselves, you give your best in that fight, and you give it all because you don't want to let the person to the left or right of you down. You don't want to let your team down, and that is exactly how it is on the front lines.
The NCBA 2019 132-pound runner-up, Evan Walker, fighting out of the red corner, as well as a Rhodes Scholarship. Some of the credentials that these cadets have really are impressive.
In-ring credentials, of course, they're just learning here outside the ring. Very impressive. Evan Walker got a great reception here, almost an early crowd favorite there in the red. For having just, let's say, a group of cadets in the upper level, this feels like a full house. This feels like Madison Square Garden tonight.
They reacted nicely to that right hand landed by Evan Walker.
Hands are up.
But much respect to Sky Williams. She is not folding under the pressure. She's fighting her fight. As you can see, she's getting her combinations, getting in and out. But here comes Evan. Here comes Evan Walker again. And here we go. Here we go.
For a look at how we scored that first round, we go to Steve Smoger.
See what you got.
Sky wins the first round, but Miss Walker's leading in the second round. Close fight. Very skillful for this level of boxing.
1 minute. 1 minute the second.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get busier.
In this round number 2, Sky Williams appeared to be the little more tentative of the two fighters. But as just as I say that, she turns it on and starts pushing Evan Walker back there a bit.
Good body shot from Walker, though. Good body shot.
Williams in the blue starting
good movement as well.
Yeah, and Williams starting to cut off the ring a little bit more and walk Evan Walker back.
But every time she comes in the attack, here comes Walker. Comes right back with 3-4 punch combinations.
Not straight back, Evan.
A series of ebbs and flows here in round number 2.
Got about 15 seconds. Sprint it out. Shots head.
A nice flurry of action from Evan Walker to close out the second round.
Here goes Williams.
For a closer look at her opponent, here's a feature on Sky Williams.
Well, when I first came to West Point, it was my very first time ever boxing. And I found out about the West Point boxing team the summer of my cadet basic training, my Beast experience. And it was there during the culmination of basic training where we had a combatives competition. And there, after rolling around a while in the dirt, I won. And the graders there, they told me that with my force and my grit and assertion, I should really look into joining the boxing team. And ever since then, it's been history.
Now, renowned boxer Clarissa Shields is making a transition into MMA. She just mentioned she did a little bit of groundwork there, BC. What do you think? Perhaps Sky Williams, the next woman to make the transition?
The next two sports star in the making? Heck, you never know here. These are some impressive cadets that we're seeing with obviously big-time goals and dreams that may not include the ring, but they're showing some great toughness and technique for being so young into this sport so far. Really impressed.
We go into the final round here at Hayes Gymnasium at the United States Military Academy at West Point. Thus far, very evenly matched bout, as we saw round number 2. Sky Williams really did rally quite a bit to even out this bout towards the end of the second stanza. And here we have the final round. It is Williams-Walker.
This is definitely another close one. I have them each 1-1 in round, so I think this last round will again be the deciding factor. And here they go.
Big right hand from Sky Williams.
Hands back high.
Walker making a comeback there. Good flurry, right hand off the jab.
Oh.
Look at them, let the hands go with the fight on the line right now.
Come on, boxers.
Each woman here seems to be landing their own flurry. They kind of wait a bit and just return fire back to their opponent.
Maneuver. Come on, fire maneuver.
Good jab from Walker. Going back to the stick, but here comes Williams. Ooh, nice left uppercut. Nice left uppercut from Walker.
Now, Jamel, if you would like to see some improvements from both of these women, it seems like they're not really focusing on the counter puncher. They're kind of waiting for their opponent to stop throwing, then they decide to throw and just wait for her to stop, and then the opponent fires back.
I'll say is this: they threw the defense department out the window at the beginning of the round as well. Everything is guns blazing. So, and defense is not in the equation right now, but it is very exciting, and I'm loving what I see.
Well, under a minute to go here in the final round. We've seen Evan Walker really be the one to step her foot on the gas pedal. Let's see if Sky Williams can answer as we close down.
And here she comes.
You know, she made that great thermostat analogy, and if she's going to win this bout, she's going to have to turn up the heat here in this final half of the third round.
Who's going to reach deeper? Straighten it out, ladies. Stop.
Great finish, great finish.
And the crowd's into it. I love how the crowd's into it.
Nice bit of action from both women. Obviously, two of the favorites here at the United States Military Academy of West Point, the cadets, joining us all lining the upper mezzanine. It makes a great difference when you have a crowd inside of an arena here.
Most definitely, because when that crowd behind you, it motivates and pushes you to that next level, and especially when you're down and you have that crowd behind you as well, they can also get you out of a tight jam and boost that morale again.
And Lupe, we may not have the same in-ring experience as the great Sean Porter or Jamel Herring, but behind the microphone, it gets you pretty fired up just the same.
It definitely gets you excited. Our third of 4 bouts here on Twitch. Proud members of the United States Military Academy at West Point, showcasing their talent, as we mentioned. The original school of hard knocks here at West Point. Every one of the cadets has to go through boxing training as part of the military program, and definitely teaches them discipline, teaches them courage, and teaches them how to react in stressful situations. And speaking of stressful situations, anytime you're a fighter that's put in a lot of effort into a bout, and you've got those last few moments, you're going to test this, Jamel, when you don't know exactly what the decision is going to be. You put in all that hard work.
I was just saying to myself, this is a tight one. I don't know, I can't call either, but I'm definitely proud of both of these individuals. They did a great job tonight.
Let's end the suspense, and we go up to our ring announcer, Devin Greenfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic bout. One more round of applause for your competitors. And now, your winner, boxing, out of the red corner, Evan Walker.
Evan Walker, the major in operations research, looking to be stationed at her first duty station in Oxford, United Kingdom. She comes away with the win here in our third bout inside of Hayes Gymnasium. at the United States Military Academy at West Point. Do you agree with that decision, Jamel?
Yeah. Like I said, for me, it was a toss-up, but I believe that Evans was definitely, she pulled it out. She pulled it out in the end. She was more effective. She started using the ring. I love the footwork that she displayed, and she was just, she was just going for broke.
The opening was there for somebody to do something to get the judge's attention, and it seemed to be Evan Walker in the red there, letting the hands go, as you mentioned. Clean left hand, snapping the chin, the neck back of Sky Williams with some of these stiff shots. That's always a great indicator if you're a judge.
And that catches the judge's attention a lot more at times, those effective, clean shots.
Let's go over to Curran Bhatia with the winner.
Evan, that was a tough fight, a hard-fought fight. What did you think of your performance in there?
I think I did okay. I definitely had to pick up the pace. I'm a more defensive fighter, but so is Sky. She came in there hot and ready to go, so I had to crank it up a notch.
This was the fight I had circled on my calendar when we knew we were coming here, because you and Sky are very familiar with each other, right? Yeah. You just sparred the other day. So what was that like, sparring someone you knew very well?
It was nice. I knew, how her speed is and how she goes, and how I could actually tailor my fight to compete against her. So I appreciate the advantage of having known how she fights.
In your corner was fellow cadet Jack Chronister giving you advice. The advice was press more volume. Were you listening to that advice in your corner?
Yes, I did. I think the second and third round you saw it as I threw more punches. Like I said earlier, I'm more of a defensive fighter. But Jack said I got to get in there and throw punches, so that's what I did.
We know that every freshman that comes through West Point has to take plea boxing. You did that, and now you have a WBC medal on your neck there. So what do you think about everything you've achieved here?
It's awesome. I know. I was just talking to Jack. Jack's like, you got to leave it all out here because this is it. Like, we didn't get nationals for the last 2 years. Last time I had a fight like this was nationals my sophomore year. So for this to be my last Army boxing experience is pretty euphoric right now.
Evan, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your final cadet bout, out of East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, boxing, out of the red corner, AJ Farrow-Maney. And his opponent, out of Los Angeles, California, boxing, out of the blue corner, Elias Manning.
All right, so we are all set with Eli Manning of Los Angeles, California in the blue, AJ Farrow-Maney in the red.
Now, Bob, Elias Manning, as he was called, and is it him wearing giant blue? Is that a coincidence here?
I don't know, but can he throw that big touchdown pass? So I have a little intel on AJ Farrow-Maney in the red.
Straight back, AJ.
He's in E Company 1, which is the company that my son was in upon graduation, and he was friends with AJ, and he said one of the more talented boxers on the team. We'll see if the scouting report was good.
See what kind of intel the Papa family can contribute to the broadcast there. I appreciate that.
Breathe in.
Well, I've certainly got to give it up to the cadets here who are fighting so well, showing us such great technique and heart. How about our research staff, led by Mark Ortega here for Eli Manning in the blue? His ambition to bring back the McRib permanently. Jamel, you got to have a reaction to that.
Right now, I'm just so focused and tuned in on Manning, how he's so well composed, and he's boxing beautifully in my opinion. And he's not throwing those Hail Marys yet like the Eli Manning we all know, but he's definitely looking great in there.
Fire and maneuver, get those jabs working.
Seriously. The McRib with the fake looking bone in.
Not my favorite fast food item, but.
Well,
Watch the slap. Got about 15 seconds, boxers.
I don't know about the McRib, but I see Eli going for the ribs a lot more. Yeah. Ooh, good uppercut, good uppercut.
Oh, and the right hand by Manning.
I think he stole it, but I think he got the round with that one.
Let's take a closer look at Eli Manning.
My funny story would be plebe and kind of continually going on is I broke my nose a lot here on the team, and every time I break my nose, the trainers are pretty scared about it, but our coach, he has big bear paws basically, so he just kind of sits me down and has my head stay still and sets it right with his hand back. So my mom's always pretty mad. So they really love me being on the team, and they're proud of me, but my mom can always tell when I have a pretty busted up face.
A weathered nose for Eli Manning.
That's a badge of honor. Am I wrong here, Jamel?
Yeah. Too bad he didn't have that the face guard on tonight, but.
Occupational hazard, right, Jamel?
Oh yeah. But sometimes you gotta go through those rough and tough times to get through it, to get through battle. And so so far, I like what I'm seeing.
Round number 2 begins. Eli Manning in the blue. AJ Farrow-Maney in the red.
That jab, boxer. Come on.
I want to see something out of Maney this round and make some adjustments. Manning was more aggressive, seemed to land the bigger shots. Although Maney was targeting the body more, I think he's going to have to let his hands go. Get some combinations going to try to take back control of this fight.
Hands are high.
Good uppercut from Manning. He must have heard you. He must have heard you. He's moving forward with that jab. Because the first round, he was a bit too lax. He was letting Manning get off first, and he was just getting hit with a lot of body shots, and he wasn't, And I like what Manning was doing because he was forcing Manning to bring his hands down, and that's when he kept coming up top with that beautiful uppercut that we see at the end of the first round.
And Jamel, I mean, there's no, when you got a 3-round fight, I mean, it's not like there's any kind of feeling out process that you got to just go straight forward.
You got to make those adjustments on the fly. Sometimes, just like in the battlefield, you got to make those same adjustments on the fly, and that's what I'm seeing from both individuals. Good right hand from Manning.
Manny's got to fight his way out of this. He's pinned in the corner.
Come on, boxers.
Looks a little bit winded in there, and I think it's from all those body shots he's been taking leading up to this point.
Come on, boxers, breathe. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Come on, boxers, wipe those elbows.
Manny's not just been busier there in the blue. He's been more physical. He's been taking the fight to Manny and leaning on him, forcing some active clinches here. That can wear a guy down if you're going to lean your weight all over him.
That could be from Sean making a visit yesterday, because I see some Sean Porter in there. he's not making it easy on Manny, and he's definitely making it uncomfortable in there.
I mentioned that AJ Farrow-Maney is E1 company, and there's one of his former company mates, Christopher. That's his official graduation photo from the class of 2020.
Looks like a leader, Bob, all right?
And then he let his little brother Max play with the sword, huh?
I'd be careful there. I've seen video of Max. He's got hands. A little bit wild there, Bob.
And then, you know what his favorite thing is going to Michie Stadium for football games. I don't know if you guys have been to a football game at Michie Stadium, but it is a life experience. It is phenomenal. And when they play Tsunami right before kickoff and the whole place is jumping up and down, it is worth the price of admission.
One of the more unique venues in college football, right on the edge of the water there, the beautiful bucolic scenery around it. It's incredible.
Yeah, Christopher's at Fort Benning right now and getting ready to go to Ranger School. And Jamel, being a Marine, that it's a lot of heavy lifting going on.
Of course, definitely.
Well, quickly here, Jamel, speaking of heavy lifting, we've got Ray Backwoods jumping in on our Twitch comment section. He wants to know your future. Do you want Tank Davis? Do you want to move up and challenge Teofimo Lopez at 135? What can we expect coming off the victory over Carl Frampton?
I just want to fight the world champion. You know, my goal is to get another world title around my waist. So whoever has those titles around their waist, that's what I'm going for.
That jab out, AJ. Have to believe at the very least, though, your phone's going to be ringing. You did send the great Carl Frampton to retirement. There's a reward for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the doors have definitely opened a lot more. I mean, just before the fight, people were counting me out, but you know, like boxing is funny like that. You know, once you score that impressive win, everything changes, and I'm just honored to be in that conversation, to be able to fight for, you know, other world titles in my future now.
1 minute in the third. Do you like 130 pounds where you've been operating as a champion, or do you see a future move elsewhere?
You know, I'm actually comfortable where I'm at. You know, I can see myself unifying with a guy like Oscar Valdez, for instance, but I can also see myself moving back up to 135 because that's where I started my pro career at. And people who followed my career, I also fought in the Olympics at 141 pounds, so there's really no issue staying or going.
30 seconds!
The last cadet fight, Eli Manning in the blue is taking it to A.J. Farrell-Maney throughout the course of this fight.
And it seemed like his nose is held up very well throughout this fight, so credit to that, Manning has definitely been using a lot of defense, but if you watch closely, he gets his head on the side of his opponent's shoulder.
Hey, you know, right outside the south gate, there's a McDonald's, and I think Eli Manning has earned himself a McRib.
And a sponsorship.
Well done, well done.
You're good in there.
A.J. Farrell-Maney didn't let his hands go enough in this fight.
Man, I agree. Like you can see that the technique and skill is there, but he definitely didn't, you know, put out as much as Manning did. Manning was like on go from start to finish, and like he did not slow down for 1 second.
He looks like the guy that knows he won.
Yeah. When you know, you know.
Yeah, the other guy, it's slow, taking the headgear off and the gloves, and it's like, oh, I got to listen to this decision.
I think Eli's not done. I don't think 3 rounds were enough.
I believe Sean can go in there and give us some extra rounds. Sean is always ready.
Remember, it's an intra-squad scrimmage with the West Point boxing team, but a good performance by Eli Manning.
And ladies and gentlemen, our final belt. A round of applause. And for tonight's final victor, boxing, out of the blue corner, Elias Manning.
McDonald's, if you're watching, bring back the McRib permanently, please. He's deserved it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you all for attending the Ring City USA boxing event.
Congratulations to
the evening's cadet bouts.
Both cadets and an impressive performance, and Eli Manning earns the medal in his win against A.J. Farrell-Maney.